Welcome everyone, hello, welcome back to Tarot Tutorial Night. So tonight we're exploring the Seven of Pentacles, a card that speaks of patience, perseverance and the rewards of hard work. If you've ever wondered about the deeper layers of this card's meaning, tonight's session is the perfect place to start. Why does this card resonate so strongly with the themes of reflection and growth? How can we understand its message and navigate moments of waiting, assessment and progress in your life and your readings? And what if tonight's lesson is just the beginning of a deeper journey into the wisdom of tarot? For those of you that are ready to go further, whether you're a beginner or already serious about tarot, my courses are designed to help you unlock the potential of every card in the deck. But for now, let's dive into everything you need to know about the Seven of Pentacles. So let's bring this card on. So the Seven of Pentacles shows a young man who seems to be taking a break from his hard labour to admire the fruits and blossoms in his garden. He's resting on his shovel and he's admiring the Seven Pentacles that's hanging from that lush green vegetation. Evening, Anthony. Hi. Hello. How are you? So, this is a great card. The way that he is laying his head over his hands seems to suggest a kind of fatigue. He's worked hard to make sure that this year's crop is a good one because he's focused on long-term goals and he cannot touch this harvest right now. He's only reserved one of those pentacles for himself, so he's choosing to reinvest the others. And with his efforts, he's hoping to grow his crops for the long term. So the meaning of the Seven Pentacles relates to investment and efforts. And it follows the Six of Pentacles, which refers to the end of financial or material hardship. So if you've been putting in time and effort into your work, it signifies that your efforts are paying off and they're going to pay off in the future as well. And if you're looking to invest, well, the Seven of Pentacles suggests that you have already put in a lot of effort, and that's time and work in whatever you want to achieve. And so it's reaffirming your long-term vision and helping to show that you are not confined to seeing the results of the short term only. It shows how much you value the investment because of all the effort that you've been willing to put in. So the Seven of Pentacles is also related to a fear of failure. We don't know whether we're going to be able to reap the fruit from our hard work. And it could signify frustration where there has been delays. We might not have been putting a lot of effort into the project, but it does not bear fruit right now. And the good thing is that it means that you're learning from all of those failures and mistakes. So initially it might not seem like it, but mistakes allow us to look at how better to invest your time and get the most out of your future ventures. So the Seven of Pentacles is a man who's leaning on his hoe, gazing down at this abundant crop. And he's worked long and hard to nurture tiny seeds into this thriving garden. And now he can take a break to enjoy the fruits of his labour. Look at the expression on his face. He also looks tired, fatigued. And a little bit like, well, I've worked so hard and I've got this successful harvest. But success comes from hard work and patience. And this card reminds you to take care, not to overdo it and exhaust yourself. Apologies, I have a little bit, it's a bit cold. And yes, I've been talking all day, so just wetting my whistle. So the Seven of Pentacles shows that you understand the value of putting in that time and energy to get those long-term rewards. And you've got a strong drive to invest in sustainable results. You're not looking for quick wins. You're trying to make sure that you're putting all the attention into the right areas, and that you're not wanting to waste time or effort in tasks that won't deliver any value. So when this card appears in a tarot reading, we've got to see it as an invitation to step back from the day-to-day operations and start looking at that bigger picture. We've got to celebrate what we've created and assess our progress this far and see if we're on track. Hi, Coco Brown. Totally get it. Absolutely delighted that you even typed and subbed that. I'm very grateful. So don't worry about it at all. Yeah, of course you can watch the replay. Thank you so much for your comment. It's always nice to know I've got a little company. Thank you very, very much for that. So yeah, good to have you along, Coco Brown. So we're now looking at the question of, when this card comes up, are you focused on the right tasks for the goal? If you're planning for the long-term future, the Seven of Pentacles encourages you to look at that long-term view and assess where you can best invest your time. So where is your time most needed, and what energy do you need to put in to get the maximum output? You don't want to keep putting your heart and soul into something if it's not going to reap the rewards for the work that you've done. And undoubtedly, there are some areas in life that are just, well, they take our energy, don't they? And they sap it. So if you've been working really hard and putting in the extra miles and the extra effort into something that's really challenging for months, then the endeavour of the project is culmination. If you get this card, it's telling you your hard work will pay off, and you're likely to see the financial and tangible rewards for all of your hard work. And sometimes the Seven of Pentacles can indicate that you're frustrated because the results are too slow. You've been labouring away, something that's really important, and you're concerned that your efforts are not going to go into the place of rewarding you. This is a card reminding you, be patient, appreciate the progress that you've made this far, and if your work has not paid off as planned, then to remember that expectations that you have might actually be a bit unreasonable. There aren't any guarantees, but be grateful, focus on the present, and do what you can with what you have. If it's a career reading, the Seven of Pentacles suggests that you're investing your long-term commitments to improve your career opportunities. So you might be engaged in further education that's going to take years to complete. Perhaps you join some sort of graduate or internship program and start at an entry level with the view that if you work hard, you'll progress through the organisation. So of course you're willing to put the time and effort in, as long as you can reap the rewards later. This is what this card's about. Concerning your career aspirations, you need work that gives you a sense of responsibility. So if this is coming up when you are looking at career aspirations, you might be interested in building a business for yourself from the ground, or pursuing a concept that will pay off later. It might take years to get it established, but you'll be much more satisfied with something you've built yourself than continuing on various unfulfilling roles or jobs. If you're already established within career or business, then this card comes up. It heralds profit and growth, especially if you've worked hard to get where you are. So now might be an excellent time to engage in long-range planning for the next 5 to 10 years to make sure that you're really clear and certain about your goals and how you're going to reach them. In a financial reading, the Seven of Pentacles asks you to save for a rainy day. Excuse me, folks. So you might ensure that your financial savings are in good shape, and that you've definitely got enough funds for the longer term living needs, and you might need to invest in long-term planning intended to set you up in the future, such as having a 3 to 5 year plan and knowing where you're going to spend that time and that energy. You might also see that your long-term investments begin to pay higher dividends after a long period of steady growth. Now, if we're looking at personality types, well, the Seven of Pentacles personality is someone that's willing to put in the effort over time if it carries the promise of seeing long-term results. We know that the Pentacles are slow, and we know that they're grounded. And there's still maybe times when it gets frustrating. How long before we see results? You know, when is it going to happen? But this person is adept at managing his frustrations and rationalizing the situation. The personality type is skilled at making long-term investments, particularly in a financial sense. This is someone that's much more likely to view life on a scale of looking at maybe a 3 to 5 year scale rather than day by day. If we're looking at how this turns up when it's relationships and love, so if somebody's looking for love, then the upright Seven of Pentacles, you know, I always do upright, I don't do reverse, but it's there. It's a positive sign that you're on the right path to finding the right relationship, but it might just take that little bit longer than you expect. New relationships might take a little bit longer to develop if we're getting this card. And so what's needed here is patience as you are searching for a potential partner who's matching your criteria. And so you've got to trust that every step that you are taking is leading you closer and closer towards the desired relationship. And the wonderful thing about being single, of course, is that you get to meet different people. And certainly everyone seems to teach you something more about yourself. And there might not be perfect matches, or even particularly the right one, or even attractive for that matter, or even romantic. But they'll be part of your journey towards the ultimate relationship. So you know that you're heading in the right direction. Sometimes it's important to know demonstrating things from what we don't want as much as what we do want. If you're in an established relationship and you draw this card, it's suggesting that you see your partner as someone who is definitely worth your time and energy. And so you can see a lot of potential and promise in your partner, and know that the more time that you spend together, the more value that you'll get out of this relationship. And you can also understand that the relationship itself is a journey, and that you've got to put in the effort to reap the rewards later on. And so both of you will want to create a sustainable and long-term relationship, knowing it will take time, but you've got to focus and let the energy establish itself. I'm going to put some keywords on, finish my coffee while I show you these, and I'll be back in a moment to carry on. So you've both got to be willing to invest that time together to make sure that you're creating a solid foundation for a relationship that's going to be able to stand the test of time. Now, if this comes up and you're feeling that the relationship is struggling, Then the Seven of Pentacles is a card that's assuring you that you and your partner still have enough energy to keep investing in this relationship and watch it grow. So you've got to accept that not all relationships are easy, and they do take time to build and develop. So it's a card of saying, be prepared to keep trying. And the key is to remain patient in the short term, knowing that you're working towards a longer term goal. The Seven of Pentacles in a spiritual part of the reading would indicate you're willing to invest your spiritual development over the long term haul. You're not looking for quick wins or spiritual fads. Instead, you're committed to putting in the effort now for the greater spiritual enlightenment later on. And you recognize that enlightenment can't be achieved in a matter of days, weeks, or minutes, or even years. You understand that it's a full lifetime to attain enlightenment, and perhaps even longer. So if we're looking at our well-being, or how we feel, as in our physical self, then the Seven of Pentacles represents that you can finally see the results of working hard. So maybe this is to do with diet or exercise, where you're actually looking to see an improvement, maybe in your fitness level or your weight loss. So if you're contemplating whether the effort's worth it, know that improvement takes time. It took a long time to get out of shape, and so it takes time to put those results into the right order. And what it's saying is, keep going. It's a time to keep going. Focus on the long term and the sustainable goals. Don't try and lose 10 kilos in 10 days or something bizarre. I know we all want to, but it didn't go on like that, either did it. Now, this is a card, if it comes up as in, just as in the way we look at things, it's a time to get ready to reap what you've sown. And what you've invested will be paying out soon. So your efforts are paying off. And what you set out to do will be in view. So you've got to use this time to sit back and see how far you've travelled and whether those decisions have started to pay off. Long-term goals are set for the future, yet the hard work is not over yet. Sorry about that. You need the patience to see things through. Pentacles, all about patience always, which makes it that we've got to be very mindful of our present set of circumstances and the situation that you find yourself in. So the Seven of Pentacles is representing an important time of evaluation, a moment to relax and look at what's been achieved by your time and efforts and the work that you've done, and of course the money that you've probably invested. So this will be a reflection on the past while considering the future. And if plans are to work out, then effort and commitment are needed. But this will not cause any difficulties because matters concerning work and money are going well, as in most areas of the life that the person's asking about. It's a good card. This card can bring some work changes, but they are more likely within a current job or an area of expertise. So this isn't about a shift. If you are finding that your existing work is not challenging you and that you are feeling that you're bored or stuck, then now is the time to make the relevant changes. If you feel that you're toiling for no good reason, then reflect on how can you better use your time or your money. And this can be, I'm sorry if you heard my notification go off there, I do apologise. Things whiz across the screen on WhatsApp as in from clients, sorry about that. So if you feel that you are working hard, it's like you need to reflect on how can I use this money and how can I use this time? And this can be to do with maybe a temporary change in your working hours to areas of larger importance within your career. But if this card's coming up, do it now. It's time to make changes. as you've already done most of the foundations. Look at the groundwork there. Emotionally, this card gives us that emotional investments are going well, and it's saying that you're on track. So it's a card of saying everything's going in the right direction. You've invested your emotions wisely. In all things, there's no guarantees, and you cannot expect hard work alone to get you to where you wish to go. It doesn't work like that. We've got to stay focused on the bigger picture and the long-term success, as well as the daily running of all the situations. And this card is asking for you to be mindful and to be aware that each moment that you are dedicating to this task is tiny things that are continuing to develop this. Slightest thing can make all the difference. So this is a card that shows that harvest and the finishing line, results and celebrations are not far away at all. And however tired you are, and however much you might feel that you want to give up, do not give up. You know, some key words again are rewards, results, profits, payouts that are associated with this card, benefits, you know, thriving, flourishing, money that's growing, like money growing on trees, kind of looks like that, manifestation of our ideas, ambitions, holding your own financially, and reflection, reevaluation and reassessment. So the appearance of the Seven of Pentacles really does signify the recognition of your dedication and hard work, and in a particular aspect or area of your life. It's showing that you've been working relentlessly and being as busy and ambitious as you ever could be. This is a card. It gives you some wonderful news that the fruits of your labour will soon be visible. After working hard, like this person in the field, it's showing that your harvest is now almost ready for reaping. Success is within reach. And you've probably been noticing some promising signs for a while. But it's been such a long and arduous journey, and it takes a great toll on you. But you're not there yet. And this is sometimes when we just want to tear it all down and actually go, I give up. Look, the most challenging part is behind you. It's time to relax a little. You need to feel confident about positive outcomes, because your presence is not here by coincidence. The Seven of Pentacles doesn't give success lightly. It's because of your hard work, your determination, your conviction, and your commitment. They've guided you through all of the challenging stages. But the task that you've undertaken has been truly significant. You know, you probably were faced with many different kinds of adversity, but you persevered. And now we're about to approach the finishing line, which is both exciting and encouraging. But that uncomfortable, impatient, frustrated feeling is making you feel that you want to be rash, and that you feel that this is a disappointing outcome. And the remaining tasks now are so tedious, and you just question, why did I start all of this? Probably feels very draining. But persistence and determination are carrying you through. You're almost there, so don't give up. In your journey towards success, you've come a very long way. So this is a really important part of looking at the fruits of your labour being very plentiful, and they may even exceed beyond any of your expectations. You'll never know if you don't stay the course. You're on the cusp of witnessing those outstanding results in any area of your life that you've been harvesting all of your efforts. This will be bountiful and rewarding. So the Seven of Pentacles bodes really well for success through hard work, dedication, but it's definitely got impatience associated with this card, because the imagery depicts a man in a field struggling with the dilemma of harvesting his crop prematurely out of fear of it being destroyed if he leaves it too long. He's concerned about losing his physical and material investments. And in a reading, this scenario suggests that might be in a position where you're eager to see your return, share or cut. Fear of failure or loss can prompt impulsive decisions, potentially jeopardizing your potential success. Perhaps you're so weary of waiting for an insurance policy to mature and worried about volatile global markets. And if you cash it in too soon, you're going to incur a significant financial loss. Or you're in some sort of battle and you might be experiencing the anxiety about the potential outcome. You've worked so hard to see justice. It's that last mile, it's the hardest one. You're tempted to panic because we think we're going to lose it all. And the dilemma lies with this card in deciding whether to accept the unsatisfactory that's been offered, or to remain steadfast in pursuit of a much more favourable outcome. Choice is ultimately ours, but the Seven of Pentacles is a card of advising you to persevere. If you've done all the necessary groundwork, research, you will reap the rewards. It's not a time to give up or withdraw. You will regret it. It might be prudent to maybe reevaluate the situation and explore some alternatives or options beyond the current offers that's on the table. But the Seven of Pentacles just tell you in a highly favourable position. It's not by sheer luck. Instead, you should fully credit yourself to your achievements. Hello! It's so nice when people say hello. Always really grateful when you actually send a wave or a hi. It's lovely to have you along. Thank you for watching. So, this is a card of saying your past efforts and dedication have led you to this well-established point. So you've got a sense of security, internally and externally. But you're at a bit of a crossroads currently, because work is nearing completion. And it's prompting you to make decisions about future directions. Perhaps you've been doing this for a long time. Maybe you've been saving for a long time. And now you're wanting to utilize your money. You might be considering building something else, a house, a business, investing in land, going into a commitment with another person. Regardless of our intentions, the Seven of Pentacles suggests that you've got enough ample financial resources and more to spare. There's no need for concern. You've positioned yourself very well and the path forwards is promising. So in the Seven of Pentacles, you're prompted to take a step back and assess your accomplishments. You've been working diligently for a significant period of time, leaving you very little time for reflection. Okay, I'm going to quickly show you where to find my courses if you're interested in knowing more about tarot, like these tutorials. This is only a teeny weeny bit, and you might say, how deep can you go? You can go deeper. But the difference is, it's not about throwing it all at you at once. Take a look at the courses and you'll see what I mean. I'll be back in a moment. And so, there you go. You can see what I mean now. You can choose what you want. You don't have to do the whole thing. You know, what we're talking about with this card. It's all about taking your time. Pentacles are slow, they're deliberate. They know that things take time. You can't just suddenly learn something and do it. In all of our jobs, if you think any job we do takes time to acquire. You know, it's an acquired skill. Education maybe is part of it, but experience is also vital. The thing is with tarot that you often feel that you've read a book, got a deck of cards, and now just off you go. You should be able to do it. Use your intuition, they say. Terrifying. Intuition's fine until somebody says, but what about? And you feel that you've answered them and you don't know what else to say because your intuition is just giving you tidbits. That's why these tutorials will really help you with that background of knowing the meaning of the cards, then being able to actually work out the positioning and the pairing and the system. It's like anything. We have to be able to learn them. And it's not easy. You know, I know what it's like because I had readers that work for me just saying, I just don't feel that I've got any support from anywhere to be able to grow beyond what I'm doing. And I want to be able to do it like X person does it. Well, that person's probably, you know, been studying for years and been on, like I was, hundreds of different workshops that just offered tidbits. So it's all online on the website. These are just tidbits of things that, you might say, I teach you an awful lot here. I do. But it's not showing you how. This is again a bit like the book. You know, I could have written all of this for you all, but there's plenty of books out there that do that. You know, we needed to be able to discuss things. And in these tutorials, that's what I'm doing. This is a card where you mustn't neglect introspection because it can lead to becoming perpetually enslaved to your goals. So you just keep going merely for the sake of it. And there's no need to make drastic changes that's going to undo all of that hard work. That last mile is always where we feel like tearing it all down because we just feel like it. Look at this card instead, that you've got the opportunity to pause, evaluate, and determine your next steps. Like the man in this card, you must review your work. Of course you need to be objective and you need to look at your aspirations, whether it's your business plan or a life plan. It might be outdated or need modifications. Check in with yourself and clarify your intentions. Because with a clear purpose, your efforts will become monotonous and unfulfilling. And that's exactly what I'm saying with the courses. I'm always updating something for you, for myself, because I'm still growing, I'm still learning, I'm still picking up bits and pieces. What's the bits that I do? I study loads of things, numerology, astrology, so I go deeper and deeper into that. I don't think I will ever be an astrologist at my age, but I do enjoy it, and it does actually make a difference to the cards. You know what, it clarifies more than anything else. The things that I already know about tarot have been completely given that kind of solid foundation of, so that's why that means this, you know? And I can tell you that an astrologer wouldn't just pick up a little white book and just think they could go off and do it. It may be self-taught, but they will be looking at some serious stuff to be able to map it all out, learn how to do it, watching this, gaining that, going on this course, study. And I know that people don't always want to study and they want to just go as far as they want to go, and that's absolutely fine. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you are looking to grow a bit more, this is the place where you can have a look and see which bits you want to study, which part, which bit needs improving. So if you look it's very much what this card is talking about. How much do you want to invest in yourself? You know, if you invest in, say, doing tarot courses, where are you going to be in, say, a year's time? As opposed to reading a little white book and maybe trying to get a customer tomorrow and finishing the reading in under 3 minutes and feeling a bit awful that you didn't feel that you could give them any more than you were able to give, or that they went, thank you, and that was it. You knew that they didn't want to hear any more because maybe you're thinking there's no connection. It's not really about connecting. Of course, that's a tiny piece of it. There's lots of different pieces. And that's why the Seven of Pentacles is a wonderful card, because it's saying your hard work may have brought you happiness and success, but you almost might be feeling drained. But the world won't fall apart if you pause temporarily to reassess, where am I going? Should I be doing more of this? Should I be giving more? Should I pause? Should I take some time out? You know, a bit like, oh, shall I take a sabbatical and take a rest and come back as in later? You know, give myself a little bit of time off so that I am not feeling maybe the fatigue that we can kind of see in this fellow's face. So maybe we need to take that opportunity to reflect on what's truly matters to us. And are all of your efforts, still aligned with your values and desires? You know, I want to do this, but it's too tough for me to actually do that. It's too hard. Maybe being, putting too much into it, and it's time to actually pause. And maybe you've been hell-bent on doing it a certain way, and in the pause, you actually figure out another door's opened, and actually, I'm going to give that a shot and see if that's going to take me towards my goal. So by taking that moment to reevaluate your goals and determine if you're in anywhere near where you actually intended to be, or have you deviated? And that's why this is a card to actually make us go, pause, do nothing. You're about to maybe take a little risk there with something that's on the floor there. You're feeling good about that, but what about the rest of it? What shall I do with the rest of it? And it's urging you to find a balance between maybe your work and your rest. Because when we rest, it ensures that your efforts will continue to bring fulfillment and meaning to your life. And you maybe need to reflect on the reasons for why you're digressing. Do you simply neglect to pause and assess the progress? Or did you intentionally choose an alternative route? And we need to consider whether all this effort has yielded the desired result. Is it worth it? Will you actually reap the reward that you'd anticipated? Introspection of this card, reflecting on your past, your present, and your future. So it's a bit similar to introspection with the Hermit. Crossroads, as in the Judgment card. So if we look at the imagery where the man's carefully pruning his pentacle plant, he's removing all the weak offshoots or deadheading them. Well, the Seven of Pentacles is suggesting that you need to undertake a similar process as well. Get rid of all the dead wood, or, make sure that you're getting rid of anything that's a weak offshoot, because it's time to work out what's staying and what's going. And look at what's serving you and what's no longer of any value. Consider lightening the load and simplifying your life. And then you can focus on the areas that do yield positive results based on our experience. Not everything can receive the same level of attention. So we've got to prioritise what matters the most to us and let go of the rest. So this is a period or an opportunity to kind of like have a bit of a spring clean. And that might be our environment, our home, our garden, but also us. And, you know, sometimes we do need to just get rid of what no longer serves. So that it's definitely about, like gardening, get rid of the dead wood and then work out what grows, what needs rotating, what needs changing. So the Seven of Pentacles can indicate that you might be overestimating maybe this financial scarcity or this lack of, and you're worrying excessively about it. It's a card that actually touches that and says, I get it. I know what your sort of worries are. I know what your concerns are. It's kind of a basic thing for us to wonder that. But just because you are thinking it or feeling it, it's probably because you're weary, you're fatigued, and you've got a moment to think. When you are so busy coping, you don't have time to think about whether it's worth it. It's just keep going, just get it done. And see now, it's like, not sure. Is this going to work out as I'd hoped? So this is a card assuring you that you've got plenty of resources to sustain yourself. You know, you might need to look at the fact that it's still a time of limiting what you're allowing yourself at the moment. So if this was, you know, money like growing on trees, would you gather it all now? It's like, well, only invest a small amount. No more than you can afford to lose. Don't gamble it. You know, don't say, oh, well, you know, whatever. Try one. By trying a small amount, you're going to be able to find out what that did or did not do without risking the whole lot. And, you know, maybe you're trying to actually make this grow and multiply. Of course we all are, aren't we? But the focus is on the future, not on the present. So it's a card of patience and perseverance to reach your objective. And this card represents maybe living off the land, it's self-sufficiency, providing for yourself. It can signify being able to grow your own food, or that you're able to supply to maybe markets or even local supermarkets. If it's in a relationship reading, it's telling you about the future plans and maybe some financial considerations that might be essential to the growth of the relationship's future. It's probably talking about savings towards projects, maybe house purchases or marriages, commitments, things that help us grow and maintain a successful relationship. It's about dedication, nurturing, care. It's also a card that after a period of a lot of hard work, savings and pressure, showing that it's easy and allowing for some play, social activities, and encouraging you to be able to take that time to just enjoy the feeling of some of those rewards. And if you're feeling stuck, well, these feelings are probably valid. You know, progress does take time. Impatience or rushing out can be very counterproductive. And evaluating your success just through these goals will provide some clarity, but not all. So despite feelings of frustration or underappreciation or unfair compensation, you are making progress. And circumstances are set to improve, but not all now. And this is the card of saying that your hard work and dedication haven't gone unnoticed if it's in the workplace. And you may be in consideration for some sort of bonus. That's what this card can also indicate. Or even the opportunity for partnerships. This is also for people that, individuals that are studying, PhD students, medical interns, who've dedicated themselves to their work, recognizing that their efforts might not yield immediate financial rewards. So the focus with this card always lies on the broader perspective and the long-term gains, rather than what looks like the current circumstances as it appears, or, well, it's only a little bit. And it's about understanding that that journey towards full qualifications for anything is a long one. And that requires patience and commitment. And in the business context, well, Seven of Pentacles indicates progress and potential financial growth. So you might be working on a financial plan or witnessing the fruits of your labour in some of your projects and ventures. You still need to be patient. It's still necessary. Business is showing signs of stability. But this is a moment to cherish, because it's a culmination of careful planning, hard work, dedication, and it's a brilliant card for people that are in business. It indicates that things are working towards a healthy and viable outcome. It can also be a card that probably needs us to be a bit critical in our examination of how we're operating. Might require us to look at some areas that might be draining our resources without giving substantial profits. And that could be time, effort, not just money. So it might be a card where you need to just pause, make some decisions, eliminate things that are not working out, and determine which areas you're going to focus on and what you're going to let go of. And to ensure your continued success with this card, just assess everything and try to do so accurately. Don't try and expand too rapidly, and don't try and overestimate the demand of your offerings. It's easy to kind of get carried away. So this is a card telling you to invest your time in the necessary groundwork and no shortcuts. Don't take any risks when it comes to this. It's a card of being cautious, and the success is not materialized overnight. It's a long, slow journey from when the man planted that tiny seed, as our figure is now showing. This is the rewards of gestation, and that can be lengthy and arduous. So it's all about perseverance and dedication. And you may find yourself the only believer in this project. It can be a lonely path, that, can't it? With potential obstacles and pitfalls. But you've endured and you've persevered. You're poised for success, even if there has been some delayed results. So it's about reflecting on your financial stability and finding comfort in the knowledge that you've got to look at your free time as well. So this is one of those beautiful, beautiful cards where it is all about, it's good, but we have also got to be very clear and very aware that we might want to suddenly go, do you know what? I've just decided. No. And I would always say, just invest a tiny bit of whatever it is that you're thinking about. Have a pause. Look at it. How did you get here? What did it do? What would it waste? Sometimes you do need to tear things down, but that's not one of these times. This is not a card suggesting such a thing. Definitely not. Okay? Right. let's just remind you of the podcast. So if you miss any of the tutorials, you will find that I have placed all of our previous tutorials in this podcast, Learn Tarot. And it goes right back to beginning with the major arcana cards there, the full, and so on. You'll find them all on my YouTube channel. But, you know, one of the main things is to make sure that you do look at the fact that becoming a reader is something, just like that card tonight, it takes time. It takes years, and we're still learning. And if you want to do something with tarot, even if it's a hobby, but mostly I'm somebody that has a lot of experience with people that's turned it into a career. And sometimes they will get so far and realise that they need to grow a bit more for their own reasons. Maybe they're being challenged in a certain way with readings and feeling uncomfortable, or wishing to be able to extend more than they are. They're comfortable with where they are, but they want more. Give me more. I want to be able to do that for myself, for my client, whatever. And so, yeah, this is a place where I have put together online courses designed with professional tarot reading in mind. You can still take them, of course, if you love tarot, like we all do. If you're watching this, I'm sure that you do too. If tarot has been good for you, it's really nice to be able to turn around and do something rather positive and rather wonderful and see where it takes you, even if it's just because you love it. Okay, so go and have a look at the courses on my website, and yeah, choose the ones you want to. As I said, there are all sorts. If you are a novice or if you are somebody that already knows about tarot, there's something on there for everybody, but they are pitched very differently to the videos that I'm showing you on this YouTube channel. But this is, I didn't want to do things in short measures here either. So I'll see you next week, Christmas week, and wishing you all a wonderful weekend in this cold December. And until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye for now.